Des from Aro-Tarot, and no idea when this video is going up. I'm filming it a bit earlier than I probably normally would, just because I'm in a film mood. But this is my Basicially vlog for February, where I get to mention what decks I got in February, maybe even my thoughts on them towards the end, depending on when I got them. And just like anything else, you know. Maybe if I did any like tarot tags, or like last time I just talked a bunch about shows. This time I'm gonna mention video games, so there you go. I feel like last time I talked a lot about shows, it took a while to get to the deck, so I figured I would start talking about tarot first and hopefully not forget, because I just didn't write it down. I didn't feel like it. Don't forget to talk about anything else. Yeah. So for February, I got 2 decks. The first one I got, when did I get that? I want to say it was, actually, I think it was February 1st. It's either 1st or 2nd or 3rd. Might have been February 1st. I got it, it was that point where I'm like, see, I didn't get a 3rd deck in January. I got my first February one. No, my papa likes to spoil me. Our Olive Garden plans are ruined. I won't go into that. So, yeah. Olive Garden plans are ruined. We kind of just had to sit in the car for, I won't talk about the reasons. I feel like people will be like, OMGG, so everything's fine, so. Yeah. We're on our way. And then, of course, we had to go back. So, but then we ended up having to go to the mall anyway. Just not the mall, just, the whole mall area, Niles, so. Nana was like, I can actually at least go to Mark's like I wanted to. And I was like, yo, can we stop at the bookstore? And she's like, I don't feel well, but you know what? I'm gonna do it for you. It's like, I didn't know you didn't feel well. She's like, we're going. And that's because I love you, and I would only do this for you. She spoils me too. But, we're in the bookstore. I actually had money, but part of my money was in my account, and the other part I had in cash. So, I was just kind of like, I'd have to be all because it's split, I don't know how that would work, I usually just pay everything in cash unless it's online, so then my papa's like, want me to get this for you? And I'm like, he's like, would you want this instead of me handing you the money that I wasn't planning on doing? So I'm like, yes, you can get it for me. And I got that right here. It's the Aro-Tarot Tarot. And this is one that I've had my eye on, I want to say a year now, but I hadn't gotten it. It was always it was in my top 5 for a while, and I just kept getting other decks, and there were some times where I really want to get it, but again, I just got other decks ended up that I wanted a bit more, and then I finally got this one, and this one's got the magnetic box, which is a nice box. I think the old version didn't have this kind of box. I'm not sure. But I got the nice book. I haven't read any of it yet because I haven't worked with the deck too much. Yeah, this is the first edition 3rd printing from 2017. So, I don't know, I didn't really pay much attention to the box. It was kind of that thing where I'd look at it, but I hadn't really picked it up whenever I did see it in the store. I'd always get another deck, usually order online, but I finally got it, and I was kind of almost wanted to get the one other deck that I haven't wanted to get in a while. I was like, no. I'm gonna finally get this one. Yeah, it's Saturday. 4. No one else heard that but me. It was the prison alarm. I live couple houses down from a prison, so the alarm goes off every Wednesday and Saturday. So every single time it plays, it's like, you know, I got mouth words. I've been hearing it since I was a kid. I've always lived on this street, so only moved down a couple houses in 2nd grade, so yeah. But yeah, I haven't really read much of the book because I haven't really worked the deck. I can read with it, but I haven't really been connecting with it, and I know why. Part of it is actually the cardstock. The cardstock really surprised me. The other part of it would be, see, like, now I feel like using it more, and I feel like it literally kind of just dealt with the weather. Like, the last few days, it's been warm. The other day, it was like 72 degrees. It's freaking winter in Ohio. It was like 72 degrees. Weather's all messed up. Even more so for Ohio, but yeah, I, you know, like, now that it's nicer out, like, I feel like using the deck. When it was more cold, I really didn't feel like using the deck. I'm probably not going to read much with it when it comes to winter. Spring, summer, fall, I'll probably read with it more. I mean, literally, the weather is closer to, like, spring weather right now, and, like, I kind of want to read with the deck. The cardstock had surprised me because it's a bit thinner than I thought, and the feeling of the card isn't as glossy as I thought it was going to be. Which is, you know, like, good for taking pictures. It feels kind of weird, though, because it doesn't have a matte feel. It just feels like it's lacking gloss. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I'll probably use it more. And I did actually use it. I was kind of doing my daily draws with it for a while until I was like, no, I need to hold back. Otherwise, I'm gonna end up not liking the deck. So yeah, it's a really pretty deck. Happy I finally got it. It's just, it's one of those ones that, like, not really even counting as like a February deck, just because of me not really being able to read much with it because of the weather. And then the other deck, oops, almost fell. The other deck that I got for February is this one, which I just did an unboxing of, and it's the Dragon Tarot, which I was really excited about. I had been waiting for it for, like, I don't know, I said in the video, I think it's probably since, like, October, maybe September. And I've done an interview with it, and I did a daily draw. I ended up not using this one for the tag that I'm currently doing. But maybe I'll do it a bit later. I just was very much feeling to catch up with one of the other decks. But so far, out of, like, the interview, like, I like its personality. It was actually kind of interesting because I did a reading and, like, I felt like I was getting something with the interview, but felt a bit off. And then I was, like, just happened to look in the book, and there was, like, literally, like, 5-6 cards, like right now. I thought that I was going to have to, you know, I thought I was going to be able to use this box for it. I might have to just take the insert out because it keeps falling in the insert. So, like, just now there's 4 cards that I didn't even know were still in the box. So then I had to do it over again because I was like, no, I'm going to do it over. And still wands were coming up, but it described itself as the Knight of Cups, and I think it said its element was air, like swords. And it's just, I don't know, it feels like a fun deck. You know, I'm happy to have it finally and to start working with it. I just got that one, like, what, the 19th, I think, so it's not like I've had it for too long. Let's see if taking the insert out might... make it easier on my whole freaking issues and not realizing some of the cards aren't out. Okay, that way I'll probably won't forget. But yeah, I talked for a bit there. Those were the 2 decks that I got for this month in February. Which so far, I think I got like 2 decks last month, and then like 2 came in the mail, but I'd ordered them in December. So starting to keep with the pattern of last year where I was getting like 2 decks per month, except for August where I was babysitting, so I ended up getting 4 decks. My birthday I got like 4 decks that month, and then Christmas I get a bunch. So the pattern will probably stay true unless I'm getting an independent deck, which I've already ordered a deck for next month, and I don't know when it'll come, because it's coming from Europe. I just ordered it today. I just know it's obviously not going to come by like the 28th. I feel like it's going to take maybe another week or 2 at least before it gets here. Sometimes stuff from Europe doesn't take long, so sometimes stuff that is in the US takes forever. You never know. I think the longest I've waited for something was something from Canada, though, because it took forever for customs. I waited... It felt like a month, but it was probably, like, not to the month mark yet. It was probably more like half a month, a little bit over half a month, like, somewhere around there, but it felt like forever. It was a pendulum. It was a pendulum, and I had to wait so long for it. But then, for instance, like, my bust of Athena, like, I got that from Greece, and I was so surprised it came so quickly. It ended up being a birthday present because I like asked for it for like Christmas, and then it came, and they're like, we're just gonna give it to you now, like, that'll be a birthday present because you didn't get enough birthday presents, Des. And it's like, I wasn't planning on, I thought you were going to give me like 1 or 2 because I got such a really early birthday present in July where I got to, you know, be on stage for All Time Low and stuff, you know, and it was awesome. And that was like $100. I thought that and they're like, you need physical presents, Des. And I'm like, okay, man, if you guys just want to keep spoiling me, I'm so up for the spoiling. But, yeah. So that didn't take long. My one Christmas present I thought was going to take longer, and that one didn't actually take too long either. That one came from Norway, I think. So, you never know. The deck that I actually ordered for next month, I don't exactly know how to pronounce. I've heard people pronounce it like Joanna Jaus. I don't actually know if that's how you pronounce it. I believe that's her name, the creator. Yeah. I don't know. It looks like if as an American, I would, while looking at it, I would think it would be pronounced like Joanna's Joust, but it's not English, so I've heard it pronounced differently, but Google Translate's not really helping me here, so yeah, I mean, I have issues, you know, sometimes just pronouncing English, so sorry. think the only thing that I don't really have issues pronouncing is Japanese. And for longer words, I just have to look at the word for just a little bit longer in order to actually be able to not do it by each, hiragana or katakana character. And that's mostly because Japanese is not hard to pronounce. If you speak English, it's not hard to pronounce, especially if you see it in Romanji. I can't remember the word for it. I haven't taken Japanese in so long. And then, I took a semester of Japanese too for college. I just don't really remember anything. I took 3 years of German in high school, and the most that I can remember saying is, for ich bin, and I don't actually remember, the number for 22, so I can't really say my age. But yeah. That and, ich liebe Obstkuchen. The one line, because I looked it up on like Google Translate, and then I asked my teacher, I'm like, you would say it as Obstkuchen? And she was like, I mean, they don't really have a word for pie, so yeah, it would probably translate to Obstkuchen. And I'm like, fruit cake is pie. Okay. Ich liebe Obstkuchen. I had a thing where I used to just like to say, I like pie. So, it's German class, so I'm just going to go around saying, I love pie in German. That was my thing. There was also one time, I want to say I mentioned his butt on the test, and not just that I like drawing him, because then Frau was like TMI, like smiley face. Frau was like, and literally I'm calling her Frau, and she actually made a point. She's like, everyone just call me Frau. You're basically just saying, yo woman, get over here, but it's easier. She was really cool. I love Frau, she was awesome. But like me saying something like silly like that on the test isn't gonna get me in trouble. She'll just be like, TMI, like, she was that kind of teacher. And then we would sometimes have a Frau Raboe come in, and she's this little old lady from Austria, thick accent, and she was always kind of fun. She'd come in to help us with our dancing. We'd sometimes do German folk dancing. Also, I'll never forget when we were doing the ducky dance, which, if you're American like me, you would know it as the chicken dance. So, like, da-da-da, like, it's that dance. And we were doing it, and I guess in German it's the ducky dance, so, like, literally different lyrics and stuff, but, still based, same song, same dance moves. And the one kid in my class, I can't remember his name, but he was not, like, getting into it enough, according to Frau Raboe. And she's like I said, she's like this little old lady. I think she was shorter than me, and I'm like 5'1", so she's probably like 4'11", like really old, just like adorable. And she'd be like, and she literally says to him, she's like, no, you're not shaking. But she's doing, it was great. Like, I loved it. She used to always go, if you're gonna drive in Germany, make sure to bring your casket. She'd always mention it whenever she showed pictures of Germany. Like, Frau Raboe was pretty cool too. I heard the Spanish teacher was cool too, but I didn't take Spanish, so we only had Spanish and German you could take, and obviously me, I'm like, got some German ancestors, I'm gonna take German. Also, I cannot actually roll my R's. So, no, I literally, like, people will be like, oh, just like this. No, I can't. I once read somewhere that if you can't do the tongue thing, which I'll explain in a second, then you can't roll your R's. The tongue thing I'm referring to is when you, like, I don't want to bend a card, so can I bend my nail file? Kind of? Okay, like when your tongue kind of, I broke it, but that's okay, I got plenty. When you just kind of do this with your tongue, I can't do that. Most people can do that with their tongue. Although, high schoolers and middle schoolers would like to say otherwise and say that they're all special because they can do it. Actually, no, most people can do it. I think it's like 75% of the population or 80% of the population can do it. I can't do that, and I read somewhere where it said if you can't do that, then you can't roll your R's because you don't have enough control over your tongue, and I really don't have enough control over my tongue. I mean, I kind of have a little bit of a list that comes in every so often, and it's, you know, I slur my words, and sometimes I just can't get things out. So yeah, I can't roll my R's, and I probably never will be able to. I just kind of just went into a story of school stuff, and when I was going to talk about shows or video games or something, but that's okay. Because this month, pretty much my sleep's just been really up. Oh, I remember the one thing I did want to mention though. My sleep's been really off. I got Divinity Original Sin 2. Some people, actually it was Miro. I was talking to Miro and Co, which sounds like weird names. It's because they're character names in Final Fantasy XIV. They're in my free company. And Mira was like, oh, I need more people to play with, you know, so I was like, you know, I'll check out the game, and I thought it was really interesting, so I got it. I haven't played it really much since, because I kind of stayed up really late and only kind of got naps in, and played it a bunch, and it got my sleep really, really off, and I was pretty much tired all month. Like, I neglected my, like, card drawings. There was, like, a little over a week where I didn't do my daily card drawing, and it was actually kind of interesting because the one beforehand was death, and then the one that I did for, like, yesterday's card was, again, death, and it's like, you know, there was nothing in the space, so then it was almost like 2 days in a row. Kind of, you know, actually 2 different decks too. I just happened to draw death, so that's interesting. Makes sense though. I'm trying to think. No, it was the Ten of Swords that came up in the one tag thing. Yeah, other thing tarot-wise, I've been doing the Tarot Ad-Libs tag by Tarot Pros on Tumblr. But because of my sleep, I keep, like, neglecting it, so then I'll just do, like, 5 days to catch up. Right now, I haven't done the days, but besides today's, I'm caught up, at least, so, yeah. But yeah, video game-wise, I got that. It's really fun. The only issue is, well, first off, it took, like, an hour just for me to be able to play it, and that's because my drives weren't updating. Like, they were supposed to, like, my GeForce. So, one of my free company mates were helping me fix all that. We had to, like, uninstall all of it and then put it all back on. So, yeah, like, that was really nice of them. And so now I could play. And the reason they said that I could probably play it still is because I can play Destiny 2 on my computer just fine, and that's like a newer game, so it's like, if you can run Destiny 2, you should be able to run this game too. It does run, but I haven't been playing much because I can't have anything else operating but that game, because it uses so much of my computer's memory, and I don't really know how computers work, so yeah, and it has gotten to a point where it's actually crashed my computer, because it's just taking up so much memory. I don't really know why. Because I don't really understand any of that stuff, but yeah, I left off somewhere in Act 2. I've just been having a lot of issues. I was having a lot of issues leveling up, like, and I literally explored, like, the whole map before getting over to the one area, like, with quests my level, because I didn't realize you could walk across the freaking river. And I walked around the whole map to get over there. Yeah, well, at least I opened up the waypoints. Yeah, I gotta play that more. It's just because of that, it makes me like not want to always play it. It's also harder, which luckily there is no issue if it does crash. Just because I save a lot because it is harder. I'm not playing on one of the harder difficulties. I'm playing on like normal. I don't usually play strategy games like that, so it's kind of, new to me, so to me it's a bit hard. It took me a little bit to get control, understand, like, that you shouldn't put water over there, and then, like, that ability, because you just put ice everywhere, and then your character slips and falls, and yeah. I actually just got another game, too. My Nana, she just paid me, like, $50. I honestly thought she was going to do less, but she did the exact same amount that Papa paid me for drawing a picture of her and Elvis. I drew a picture of Papa in his in the Indians uniform because of the summer camp things. The fantasy baseball summer camp things, or whatever they're called. He used to do that a bunch, so there's pictures of him in, like, his Indian uniform, so, like, I drew one of those. For him for his birthday, and he gave me like $50, which is why I ended up ordering that deck. But I also got another game that I did want when it was coming out, but there were so much issues with it, and everyone hated it. So I was like, I'm gonna wait till, like, maybe they patch some of this stuff, and then I still, like, I kind of forgot about it, and people were still complaining about it, and I was like, So I noticed that it was on sale for like $18. And it was like $60 when it came out, right? It's a video game. And it's now like, I think, a $40 game. But I got it on sale for like $18. And I'm like, cool, I'm gonna play it. I don't care what anyone says. $18 is really good for a video game. And that'll give me plenty of time to do stuff. And I'm not getting it on the computer to mod it. I'm gonna get it for PlayStation. I'm just gonna deal with it, and I'm gonna play it. And I actually so far like it. I don't mind it. It's Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, I heard so many bad things about it. And I haven't played through all of the Mass Effect trilogy. I have all of them. I've played through the first one, and I started the second one, but I, like, stayed up so long playing the first one to finish it off that I then was like, okay, I need a break. I've got, like, I haven't started the romance, but I have started flirting with, my favorite Turians, so I'm gonna take a break, and I just haven't gone back to it. But I have a thing for Turians, so I also kind of was like, I want a Mass Effect Andromeda. I want a romance, Vetri. I think it's her name, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And it's like, I want to romance her. I love Turians. They're so good looking. Mom. Me, like, they cute, man. Look at that thigh cap. I'm just joking now, but I'm gonna stop this real quick. Yeah, and I kind of just wanted to play it, and not too far in it, probably because I was trying to do all, the side quests. I gotta do the side quests, And the only issue I'm having with it right now is actually just not sure how's the best to collect resources so you can actually make the stuff that you researched. But I could just look that up. I know people said the story's bland, but, like, the story doesn't bother me, partly because Mass Effect I kind of just played for the combat. And of course my favorite Turian. Sci-fi stuff's not really my area, so it's not like Dragon Age where it's like, gotta pay attention to that story, gotta come up with, like, different characters to play, like, gotta roleplay that stuff. So, this story doesn't really bother me too much so far. It's fine. I also don't really care about the, character customization. I saw people didn't like the, limits to it. I don't mind it because, like, my character's dad looked like his freaking dad, and I was able to make his sister look like his twin, so... And that was partially because of using the same face for them both, and then just editing it where it was, I just remembered what the editing was. So, like, they look like a family, so I don't really care. And I did notice that the haircut I'm using is one of the, I think that was put in later, maybe, where the hairs are all pretty much unisex now. And I'm using one of, like, the girl hairs. It looks nice on him. It's just a short haircut. But yeah, I also am playing, would be Scott Ryder, and I think most people had more so complaints on Sarah Ryder's facial expressions, which I'm playing Scott Ryder. I named him Desmond, so like, I'm not having that issue. The facial, at first I didn't like the, just the way that the skin kind of, his face looks very young, and then it kind of does that, but it's like, nah, man, it makes sense, though. People think he's young, but he's actually, like, in his 30s, just people think he's 20 when they first look at him, and then, then they're really looking at him, and they're like, nah, man, he's older than 20, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have an issue with making characters look like they're in their younger 20s. I can't help it. I like round faces, so, you know how it is. Round face, some people are going to think you look younger than your age. It's happened with me. So, yeah. Also, height. But yeah, so far I'm not really minding it. I literally just got it, the night of the 22nd, because the 22nd was my papa's birthday. So, yeah. Then, of course, I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV. As always, which I'm doing right now. My training course just finished, so I'm starting up a new one. And then, this is really long. I just keep talking. I mean, that's why, like, it's literally like a vlog. It's just me talking. That's why I started off with the tarot stuff, so anyone can just click off if they don't want to hear me talking about divinity or my German teacher or whatever. The last thing I wanted to talk about, which to be honest, I feel like I should have mentioned it sooner because, like, yes. I couldn't sleep the one night. I thought that I finally was fixing my sleeping schedule. I had been up for like 24 hours to fix it, and I was playing with Mom's friend Worm and her and Worm's wife doing dungeons, and I was healing, and like, you weren't really tired after hearing, Des! Des, heal me! And it's like, I'm healing you! So, yeah, I wasn't really tired after that. I ended up deciding that, I don't know, maybe I'll watch something. I saw someone reblog about one of the Phantom of the Opera versions that I haven't seen, because I had really only seen the 2004, I think it was 4, movie, which that's what got me into it. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. Like, I was like, what, 7 when it came out? Like, Hunchback of Notre Dame was like my childhood movie, Disney version, and then The Phantom of the Opera, like, that was like my older childhood, not yet teen, like older kid to preteen movie. Hold on, Hunchback of Notre Dame's my favorite movie. But like, that one was like such a favorite. And then I've seen the Lon Chaney one. I ended up watching that one finally. I've read the book. I started rereading it, to work on like a tarot deck. I just haven't really done that much. I also have the Susan K book, Phantom, but I need to read more of that. I've only read like 13 pages. Because I keep not reading like I want to. Curse you, Final Fantasy, for making me keep wanting to play. And it's easier to read fan fiction while fishing instead of holding a book. Fishing, I feel like, is the best time to read because you're just sitting there and you can actually catch fish by ear, so yeah. Gotta make that gill somehow. I do it with fishing. So I saw this version and I heard it was good. But then I saw Eric wearing this hat and it's like, I can't sleep. I'm a bit too awake. I'm gonna watch this. It's a 1990 miniseries, which, like, both parts together is like 3 hours long. So I started at like 1:30 at night, and I watched all of it, like, so tired. I'd been up for over 24 hours, and I was like, I loved it. And then I went to my Nana Click and Papa Clicks, like, later, And I was like, yo, man, you need to watch this. So then I watched it again, and then I want to say, I can't remember when I went over. I was like, I think like last Thursday I had showed them. Not like this week's Thursday. It's Saturday when I'm filming this. So it's the 24th. So it's not like the 22nd Thursday. It was the Thursday before that one. Then I want to say it might have been like the Saturday or Sunday after that. I was like, yo, Mom, you should watch it. And she kind of just needed a break, so she was like, okay, I'll watch it. And she's like, that wasn't bad, you know, and it's like, it's great. It's now my new favorite adaptation of the Phantom of the Opera. And then I watched it again by myself, it was earlier this week. And now I kind of want to watch it again because I just liked it that much. Like, it's nothing like the book, but like, literally the musical's not like the book either, and that's like what I liked. I know a lot of people like the musical. Oh, the other thing I've seen is I actually have watched Love Never Dies. I've seen the filmed version that was filmed in Australia. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, considering I had read the plot and what all happened. It wasn't as bad as I thought, although it kind of felt weird with how it went with the first one. Like, with some stuff, I'm like, okay, when did they have a night together? Like, when did this happen? Me questioning the whole time, when did any of this happen in the first one? That was the bit that actually kind of threw me off. But yeah, at least like with Phantom, I did skip to the end, because I was reading the author's notes and it's like, Eric gets redeemed. Eric gets redeemed? I'm just gonna skip to it. I already pretty much know what all happens in this version because of fan fiction that I've read. So it's fine. I'm just gonna skip to the redeeming part and then still end up reading it all anyway. I'm gonna read it all anyway, it doesn't matter. And I was like, see, like, at least with the way that one ends, it makes sense. But the other one, I was like, when that happened, I told Mom, and Mom's like, it made no sense, you know, so, yeah, so, got my new favorite Phantom of the Opera adaptation, the 1990 miniseries, which I highly recommend, specifically, the European print. I've seen comparisons of the two, and luckily the version I found was actually the European print, so yeah, it's, the other print is like, which I think is the American version, it's so dark. It's like almost like they don't have any lights on. But then you watch the European print and like it looks fine. Like the lighting's just fine. I don't know why the difference between them is so drastic. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, so I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I've rambled for enough. Especially for like a basically vlog. I feel like this is probably like my longest one because I just kept rambling because it's one of those things that I do sometimes. Which is why like when it comes to like with doing deck reviews, I kind of need like a prompt because sometimes I just keep talking. The shadow skips one song. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I still gotta film the walkthrough of the shadowscapes. That bit of that review video, so yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and do that after charging the camera, so I feel like I've talked enough. Way too enough. Way too much. See, there's like my freaking, I can't say things right sometimes. But yeah, anyway, this is from Aro-Tarot. This was the month of February, and I'm logging off. Also, that's my tea.